When the West was still wild and open, a young British fellow named Frank Dupre came to work on a cattle ranch in Texas. Years later, back in England, he would recall his adventurous life on the range in the poem he called Lasca.
It's all very well to write reviews and carry umbrellas and keep dry shoes and say what everyone's saying here and wear what everyone else must wear. But tonight, I'm sick of the whole affair. I want free life and I want fresh air. And I sigh for the canter after the cattle, the crack of the whips like shots in a battle, the melee of hooves and horns and heads that wars and wrangles and scatters and spreads, the green beneath and the blue above, and dash and danger and life and love and Lasca. Lasca used to ride on a mouse-grey Mustang close to my side, with blue serape and bright-belled spur. I laughed with joy as I looked at her. Little knew she of books or creeds, an Ave Maria sufficed her needs. Little she cared save to be at my side, to ride with me, and ever to ride from San Saber's shore to Lavaca's tide. She was as bold as the billows that beat. She was as wild as the breezes that blow. From her little head to her little feet, she was swayed in her suppleness to and fro by each gust of passion. A sapling pine that grows on the edge of a Kansas bluff and wars with the wind when the weather is rough is like this Lasca, this love of mine. She would hunger that I might eat, would take the bitter and leave me the sweet. But once, when I made her jealous for fun at something I'd whispered or looked or done, one Sunday in San Antonio to a glorious girl on the Alamo, she drew from her garter a dear little dagger, and sting of a wasp it made me stagger. An inch to the left or an inch to the right, and I shouldn't be maundering here tonight. But she sobbed, and sobbing so swiftly bound her torn rebozo about the wound that I quickly forgave her. Scratches don't count in Texas, down by the Rio Grande. Her eye was brown, a deep, deep brown. Her hair was darker than her eye, and something in her smile and frown, curled crimson lip and instep high, showed that there ran in each blue vein, mixed with the milder Aztec strain, the vigorous vintage of old Spain. She was alive in every limb with feeling to the fingertips. And when the sun is like a fire, and sky one shining soft sapphire, one does not drink in little sips. Why did I leave the fresh and the free that suited her and suited me? Listen a while and you will see. But this be sure, in earth or air, God and God's laws are everywhere. And Nemesis comes with a foot as fleet on the Texas trail as in Regent Street. The air was heavy, the night was hot. I sat by her side and forgot the herd that were taking their rest, forgot that the air was closer pressed, that the Texas northern comes sudden and soon in the dead of night or the blaze of noon. That once let the herd at its breath take fright, nothing on earth can stop their flight. And woe to the rider and woe to the steed who fall in front of their mad stampede. Was that thunder? No, by the Lord, I sprang to my saddle without a word, one foot on mine and she clung behind. Away on a wild chase down the wind, but never was fox hunt half so hard, and never was steed so little spared, for we rode for our lives. You shall hear how we fared in Texas, down by the Rio Grande. The Mustang flew, and we urged him on. There was one chance left, and you have but one. Halt! Jump to the ground and shoot your horse. Crouch under his carcass and take your chance. And if the steers in their frantic course don't batter you both to pieces at once, you may thank your star. If not, goodbye to the quickening kiss and the long-drawn sigh, and the open air and the open sky in Texas, down by the Rio Grande. The cattle gained on us, and just as I felt for my old six-shooter behind in my belt, down came the Mustang and down came we, clinging together, and what was the rest? A body that spread itself on my breast, 2 arms that shielded my dizzy head, 2 lips that hard to my lips were pressed. Then came thunder in my ears, as over us surged the sea of steers, blows that beat blood into my eyes. And when I could rise, Lasca was dead. I hollowed a grave a few feet deep, and there in earth's arms I laid her to sleep. And there she is lying, no one knows. And the summer shines and the winter snows. For many a day the flowers have spread a pall of petals over her head. And the little grey hawk hangs aloft in the air, and the sly coyote trots here and there. And the black snake glides and glitters and slides into a rift in a cottonwood tree. And the buzzard sails on and comes and is gone, stately and still, like a ship at sea. And I wonder why I do not care for the things that are, like the things that were. Does half my heart lie buried there, in Texas, down by the Rio Grande?